Welcome to Black Girl Say Something, where this black girl has something to say. And I'm going to just get right into it. It's been an interesting week, nonetheless. I really don't even know what to say. Like, I started out the week going to the movies with my sisters to see Sinners. That was 10 out of 10. And to be quite honest with you, we're both in between contracts, business deals, looking for a job. Congratulations to her for finishing her bachelor's in HR management. She did that, completed that this week. So I'm so proud of her for that. And yeah, so we ditched whatever we had to do. I guess what did we have to do on Monday? Look for jobs? Like, no, we're not doing that. So we went to the movies to see Sinners because what a movie ticket, going to buy a movie ticket ain't gonna make or break a bill, right? Everything else is kind of like doing what it wants to do anyways. So interesting turn of a week, had a few meetings, um, had a customer, finding out in business that these tariffs are really going to terrorize my business is like the least of my worries, but it actually is one where I'm like I try not to be upset about it. But I just want to call this episode inspiration. Inspiration. And this episode really made me think about there's like a Nicki Minaj sound that it goes viral every now and then, especially around graduation season, where she says, "You know what really inspires me? Fearlessness, drive." And as somebody who's always been somewhat fearless, or I just do it scared, or and always has had a lot of drive and a lot of ambition, I'm not, I'm very inwardly inspired. Like, I'm inspired from what's within me. And I was on TikTok live the other day with a colleague of mine. We both graduated with our doctorate in health science. And the question was posed to me: what is your why? And it's simple. My why is me. I know most moms are probably like, you have children. Your why should be your children. But my why was me before having children. My why was me before getting married. My why was me before getting divorced. My why was me before becoming a homeowner. My why was me when I was homeless. My why was me when business was slow. My why was me when I had $10,000 months. My why was me when jobs would reach out to me and lowball me knowing that I had a doctorate degree. My why was always me. It's simple. And the definition of inspiration is the process of mentally stimulated to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. And aside from doing something creative, I know that a lot of people are inspired by me. And I typically know that I'm in a place where I'm like, if I could just inspire one, right? I've inspired in the course of like a couple of weeks, telling people go back to school, right? And then we see what's happening with student loans. And I'm like, shoot, I'm going to go back to school. I've always been joking about going back. I graduated my doctorate in 2022. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to go back because I don't want to pay them loans. But with that being said, I'm gonna pick up me a little program and I'm gonna ride that program out till we get a new administration. Hello. But not that I need to go back to school, but I would like to. I do like school. I do like, higher education, further education, skill set building. I like all of that. But I also do like educating as well. I do like inspiring. I do like speaking and creating curriculums. But I am inwardly inspired. And so when people seek me out for advice or they seek me out for resources, and you give them a tool, you give them an answer, you give them a mindset of something that they would have never thought about before, and it's met with resistance, I'm drawing back my power of inspiration because, again, I don't want to be forcing someone to feel inspired. Inspiration should happen naturally. And I know in my way of teaching, one of the things that I've come to learn over the course of all of my education was I wrote a well-written teaching philosophy back in 20 before 2018 during my master's career. And I still use that teaching philosophy to this day when I'm applying to faculty jobs and they want to know, what is your teaching philosophy? And my teaching philosophy is one that is simple because I have so much real life experience. And I like to draw from the fact of I've been through all of these things and I can still do it. I'm not saying do it because I did it, because some people do need the little extra motivation. But look from within. What is that thing from inside of you that can motivate you? What is that thing from inside of you that can draw inspiration? What is it? And so when I'm asked, what is your why? What's the reason why? What is your why? It's simple. It's me. My why is me. I have pictures all around my room. Like there's one in my bathroom. There's one on my dresser mirror, and there's one near my nightstand. And they're baby pictures of me, different phases of being a baby, whether it was a toddler, whether it was a newborn. And I know that that little girl is proud of this black girl. You know, I know that she is like, oh my gosh, I look at those pictures and I'm like, it's just a reminder to be a little bit more kind to myself. It's just a reminder to be a little bit more nicer to myself. It's just a reminder that I am the reason why, that I want to do the things that I want to do, that I want to be where I want to be, that I want to go where I want to go, and I want to take better care of me, and I want to pour into me, and I only want to surround myself with people who are going to pour back into me, and I'm going to ask for help because sometimes I need help. And I'm going to say, hey, I don't like how this makes me feel because I also have feelings. And I'm not always going to be strong. And there's strength and vulnerability. And I don't measure my strength by how strong I can be for other people, but by how strong I can be for myself. That was a mouthful. And I was going on a little bit of a rant. But y'all know when I record these episodes, I be listening back to them because sometimes what I'm saying to y'all is what I'm saying to me, for me, by me. You know, like I am my reason why. I am my inspiration. I am inspired by me. Like every day that I get up and I get moving and I do the things, I get up, I get dressed, I do my hair. I make my bed. I don't go back in my room until it's time to go back to sleep at night because I don't want to uh, allow the outward things that are going on, like not working. Like, let's be honest. Let's transparent moment real quick. If you're new here. So, if you're new here and this will probably be your first episode that you're listening to because that's how these things are typically set up. They put the newest episode first. But if you're new here, you'll find that like I'm really in a place where I would like to at least secure a new contract that's going to pay me what I'm asking for. I was a professor prior to June 2024. Did that from 2022 to 2024 while running my business. But when we look at the state of the economy right now, as a business owner with over 11 years in business, tax filing, business paperwork, last year was the first year that the business hit the negative. And so with my CPA, we really had to sit down and come up with a strategy on how I can make more money. And so what I did, one of the things that I did prior that she ended up finding out over the course of filing my taxes was that I launched an ebook in June of 2024 because I knew my contract was going to end, and the ebook has something to do with my optical business. And I didn't make it public knowledge, but I do promote it more so on the business TikTok rather than Instagram because I don't want it to be one of those ebooks where people just think they can start an optical. I wanted it to be catered to eye care professionals, and there's a lot more eye care professionals on my business TikTok than on my Instagram. So you got to just know your demographic. That's first. Second was upon filing these taxes, I ended up launching a class on TikTok on racial disparities in healthcare, which made me a good penny, right? It paid a bill here or there. Also, a book that I published in 2020 that didn't have, that would get sales every now and then. Like 2020, you first drop a book, it's going to do well with sales if you don't promote it every day. And if you're not in a space to promote it all the time, because not everybody want to talk about breastfeeding. So I'm finding ways to now just promote the book every chance I get. But I dropped the book in 2020. I had didn't have much sales in 2021, but it sold. 2022, no sales. No, sorry, 2022, no sales till the summer when I went to speak at a conference about breastfeeding communication for healthcare professionals. And then 2023, no sales. And then 2024 of January, because I started teaching this class on TikTok, I ended up making the book a requirement for the course. So people bought the book. 3 classes in, I said, you know what? This is a lot of free game. There's a lot of free information, and I'm committed to teaching 12 weeks of racial disparities. If you liking this information, there's a professional certificate that you can buy. You'll get it at the end of the course. So people kept up with that. And so we had over 40 participants. And I want to say we had a good number of people who purchased. We had 40 registered participants because people, it was on TikTok Live. So people could just pop in and enjoy the content. But fast forward to the fact that we had people purchase the professional development certificate. They got their certificate. I even gave them some resources on how they can create proposals of the healthcare type within their organization, whether it be a job, their community, whatever it is that they find their hands to do and touch and they want to make a difference in. And then now I'm creating the content for Healthcare is Politics, which is a course that will be taught not on any social media platform because, again, there will be, I can teach it more freely and not be worried about being censored. So glasses ain't really been selling like that. Contact lenses, for example, I haven't had a customer since December. I'm used to having maybe 5 people a week, right? Which could gross me anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 a month to zero. There's been a lot of $0 months since June. Last customer we had was in December. Now we're in April. A customer reaches out to me. He's a regular and he wanted to order contacts for his daughter. She's having prom coming up and all this, that, and the third. Now they regularly order contacts for me, and I always recommend to customers order a year supply because the prices often changes. When I tell y'all what it would cost me August of 2024 when he ordered contacts for his daughter, that box of contacts was about that box of contacts was $63 for me to get them. Now they're $83 for me to get them. That's a big jump. Then I get an email from the lab that they're raising prices by 6%. But what they already did was they had already raised prices by another 6% because I calculated it. And so it's really a total of 12%, but it's only this 6% that they want to tell us about. So when we see things happening in the economy, when we see what is going on as far as like retail is concerned and tariffs and all of that, the whole goal is that we don't go into these conversations ignorant. You cannot expect a small business who has maybe 1 to 6 employees to stay mentally and financially afloat when it is costing them more to run the business than it has ever costed in the course of being in business. And I'm not talking about if you just opened your business 3 years ago. No, I'm talking about you've seen the change, the drastic change. I've been in business over a decade. I say all of that to say this for those who are new here. When I have to think about all of that, here is my why, me. I get up every morning. I get dressed, I wash my face, I do my skincare, I put on my sunscreen, I get dressed, make sure I'm cute, go walk my dog. Oh no, make up my bed, go walk my dog, the dog that I inherited. You can watch that over on YouTube. Who inherits a dog? Go walk my dog, come back in, make sure my kids have packed their lunches because they do it themselves. They're 15 and 10. They've packed their lunches, they've done all of the things. Then I drop them to school. And when I drop them to school, I sit in the parking lot for a little bit and I record like I'm doing for y'all right now. And then from there, I go back home, I get my laptop and do whatever needs to be done, whether it's applying for some jobs, answering some business emails, answering this business phone, um, reaching out to people that I need to reach out to, continue just creating, and marketing myself. I have a particular set of skills, so I sell my skills. I'm a phlebotomist as well, and reaching out to doctors' offices and letting them know. Because even though I do that regularly for a few doctors' offices, let's be honest, they ain't been calling either because the self-pay patient's not showing up. So there's a lot to be concerned about. There's a lot to be worried about, right? But just like I told y'all, I saw Sinners earlier this week. And one of the lines that stuck with me that I had to write down was, no misery is worth complaining about. So, in an effort to tie this episode all together, I'm inspired by me, that I'm not even worried about what is going on around me. While there's a lot to be worried about, but what is that going to profit me? And I don't want to go insane worrying about what the financial projection is, because I already told y'all March came and left, and let's just say the March bills looking at me and I'm looking at them. May is next Thursday. And them April bills is looking at the March bills, and the March bills is looking at the April bills, and they both looking at me. And it is what it was. I'm thankful for my sisters. They can manage the light and the water, because even with that, I had to call my water bill company, and they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, we raised water rates by 22%. 22%. I don't think I know of anything that ain't no jobs giving out 22% raises, are they? I mean, y'all let me know. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, you could drop a comment. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I don't know, y'all can send me an email at blackgirlsaysomething@gmail.com. Where the jobs at that's giving out 22% raises? I've been applying to colleges and universities to be a professor. At this point, I'm just going to apply to one of their school programs and become a student. Because you know who ain't telling me no? Going back to school. Going back to school ain't never told me no, ain't never denied me. But these jobs, they denying left and right. So no misery is worth complaining about. If you don't take anything from this, no misery is worth complaining about. Now, I'm not saying stay in your misery and wallow and don't talk to nobody. If there's a few key people that you could talk to, and I'm not talking about trauma dumping or whatever, I'm talking about just being able to just vent real quick, get yourself together, dust yourself off, get back up again, and keep it moving. Do just that. With that being said, wherever you're listening to this podcast, be sure to leave a review. I don't think I've ever asked y'all that before. So if you're listening on Apple, if you're listening on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, wherever you are listening to the podcast, kindly leave a review if you enjoyed these episodes. Because at the end of the day, this black girl has something to say. And I thank y'all for tuning in and listening. And don't forget, there'll be some links in the description of this episode. You can interact with them. Follow us on TikTok. Like us on Facebook, subscribe over on YouTube. We go live pretty regularly on YouTube just to create some episodes and get some conversations going about some more long form things that we like to talk about. But we're on all the platforms except Instagram. We're not over there. But you can follow my business page, so I'll tag that right here in the description of the episode. Interact with the links, and I appreciate the love, time, and support that y'all take to listen to what this black girl has to say.